I try to find any reason to spend time on this property. I'm learning more and more about the plant response of this aggressive harvest. Now, every timber harvest I experienced in the past was a selective cut. To witness the complete opposite by removing all the low value and cull trees and leaving the best quality for a seed source was a completely new experience. Now, just 4 years ago, fern and stiltgrass prevented any chance for this property to regrow important wildlife and timber species. The majority of standing timber was birch and red maple. High deer density in the 80s and 90s also limited any new oaks from growing. I spent a summer removing as much fern and stiltgrass as I could in preparation for the timber cut. This poorly developed, depressing view was set for a complete makeover in the winter of 2022. Now, left standing was used as a way to increase valuable seed sources in hopes for bringing back life into this property. A year later, in the summer of 2023, I needed to use a plant ID app. The excitement of seeing just diversity in plant species and awakening of the forest. Now, you might have seen in some of my earlier posts a chicken coop. We're coming up to it. There it is. That's just for sort of a reference that I can kind of see the growth, the regeneration, or the response over time. And the response in that area, not quite as good as I expected, but I think that's due to still the canopy that's just within the area of that chicken coop. If we walk a little bit farther and we start to get into some larger openings, then it starts to get really thick. Matter of fact, I'll walk here about another 15 yards. I'll shoot it right back up the mountain again, and you'll start to see that it starts to get thick really quick. So another reason to thin a bit harder. So we're going to be walking up in there here shortly, but I just feel a lot better being able to cut more. It just seems like if you thin, it just allows more of those unwanted and invasive plants to kick in quicker than your native plants. That's a much better view. You see how open that is, the sun's shining, and I've got stuff that's now taller than me, and that's only 2 years after the harvest. So we're gonna climb up, go up this steeper part. A lot more rocks, so it's the dynamics are a bit different. This is the original logging road that I plan on planting warm season grasses. That was per recommendation of a regeneration forester. Spraying some stiltgrass along the bank, and that's something that I'll still be doing this summer. Start climbing up. This is what I really like to see. A lot of berries. A lot of blackberries. And notice anywhere the tracks went on the processor or the forder, we still have yet some stiltgrass, but notice too, we're now getting the briars to climb up above that. So over time, it's just going to choke that stiltgrass out. Some more berries, seeing a lot of this, which is what I want to see. A lot of food for wildlife, a lot of seeds for more growth. Pokeberries are pretty common. You can see get into a lot more rocks. So you can see it's mostly pokeberry and briar, which is exactly what I wanted. That's still going to now allow enough sunlight to get down into the floor for a lot of those seedlings, oak seedlings. The chestnut oak here. I returned to that very same chestnut oak this fall. I wanted to see if the bumper acorn crop of 2023 would indeed be another layer in this regenerative process. Hiding underneath the young birch and impenetrable blackberry briars lay clusters of new oak seedlings emerging through the rocky slope. Since the oak trees retain their leaves just a little longer than most, waiting until late October to view these oak seedlings proved pretty useful. I stand about 6 feet tall on my best days, and this picture showing blackberry vines stretching about 7 to 8 feet high. A demonstration on the thick, dense regrowth, I managed to push through about 15 yards into the brush before I started to disappear on camera. Just tough to imagine that it was a mat of fern just 4 years ago. A testament to removing invasives to achieve this level of regrowth. I did attempt to plant big blue stem and Indian grass on the logging roads. This is still a challenge, but one that I plan to continue. There is some regrowth after 2 growing seasons. Now, I already accumulated seeds for next year, so we'll see if warm season grasses can indeed survive in the mountain. One of my larger goals is to promote more pine growth. I saved as many white pine trees as I possibly could, hoping for a rapid seedling response. While I am getting some seedlings to emerge, the amount of seedlings are much lower than my expectations. I sometimes feel the thick leaf litter might be a problem for these very small seeds. Maybe my interest in prescribed burns will help with this theory down the road. All in all, my walk through the woods in the fall of 2025 proves oak regeneration is happening. Let's hope it's sustainable. My greatest challenge moving forward will be controlling the birch seedlings. You can see the steep is just a yellow blanket of birch seedlings ready to lose their leaves. It's going to be a large task, but like I was recently told, the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time.